Vital Signs is a weekly economic wrap from UNSW economics professor and Harvard PhD Richard Holden, at Prof. Holder. Vital Signs aims to contextualize weekly economic events and cut through the noise of the data affecting global economies. This week, the housing market is still cooling, but not disastrously so. Consumers remain optimistic, but business is cautious, and all eyes will soon turn to Christmas retail sales. Since housing is the main thing that Australians seem to talk about, even when the ashes is on, let's start with that. The ABS Residential House Price Index for the September quarter showed a small decline Australia-wide, with prices falling 0.2%. Sydney prices were down 1.4%, while Melbourne was still up 1.1%. This was, as we are now used to, met with press commentary about how the housing boom is well and truly over, and with various other shrieks of angst. Really? Melbourne just didn't grow as fast as it did before. And Sydney, though down 1.4% on the quarter, is still up a whopping 9.4% over the past 12 months. Read more: 4 ways an Australian housing bubble could burst. On one level, the reaction makes no sense at all. On another, as I wrote in a previous column, the implications of even modest falls could be large, given how residential lending is structured. If Australia's banks are lending people a massive chunk of their disposable income, marking to market on a regular basis and issuing a lot of interest-only loans, then even small falls can have big effects on household spending and even defaults. And they are. The Westpac Consumer Sentiment Index came in stronger than expected, rising 3.6% in December to 103.3 points. Recall 100 in these indices is the break-even between optimists and pessimists. Westpac's chief economist Bill Evans said. This contrasted with the news on business confidence. The NAB monthly business survey Business Conditions Index dropped 9 points. This still left it at plus 12, however, which is above the long-run average of plus 5 index points. Moreover, it appeared that some of the business concern was about wages edging higher, which would be a good thing for workers and the economy more generally. As I have said in Vital Signs many times, sluggish wage growth has been a persistent problem among advanced economies, and Australia is no exception. Even early signs of an increase bode well for the economy more broadly, and business will ultimately benefit from that. But these are very early signs. Unemployment in Australia remains stubbornly high at 5.4% in November. A large 61,600 jobs were created, but the labour force participation rate rose to 65.5%, leaving the overall unemployment rate unchanged. It will be important to see in coming months if that pace of job creation can be maintained, for that is a prerequisite for a genuine drop in unemployment. Read more: Vital Signs, Economics can't explain why unemployment and inflation are both low. Thursday morning Australian time, the US Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the third time this year, bringing the target Fed funds rate to the 1.25–1.50% band. The Fed also suggested in its statement that we can expect further, gradual rises, in 2018, saying,